put a hand on a quilt or lift it up or both. 256 quilts for the world. God bless these quilts. May those who receive them find dignity in their use and comfort in their warmth. And may these gifts be a sign of your love to all people, no matter what.
January through September. We take off the fall months for family things, and we get energized and come back in January. The quilt ministry has a variety of people with all different skills and backgrounds. We have 2 men. We used to have 3. One of the fellows actually sews the pieces and sews the quilts. He brings his machine every time. Another one does it at home. And helps with some of the other tasks. And the group that comes is always so much fun. I think that's really why they come. And along the way, they piece things and assemble the quilts and just do a fabulous job. Very supportive group. Well, to Lutheran World Relief and under other humanitarian organizations is my understanding. And we've seen some little blips that tell us what countries they go to, and that's very exciting. And the year that one of the crates, and gosh, I forgot which city it was in, anyway, was a ship that had all the crates, and it was bombed, and our hearts sunk. Well, after the debris was cleaned up, it ends up all the quilts were fine. The ship was ruined, but down in the bottom were these crates of Lutheran World Relief quilts, and we literally were almost in tears. I think primarily in the fellowship that we have a lot of women who have grandchildren, and during COVID, you wouldn't believe the stories we'd hear about grandparents who had to rise to the occasion of being teacher and sitter and use AV equipment, and we had a lot of laughter over that, and sometimes how did you do that? How did you know that? So helping in that way. Other times in our personal lives, we've had losses or weddings or the whole spectrum of human emotions. And this group just rallies around the people. For me, I don't sew. Now, how did I become chair of a quilt ministry? Well, under tragic circumstances, my closest friend from childhood got cancer and died, and she was an avid sewer. So one day I was down at the house and helping her husband clean out my friend's sewing room. And I said, at church I read there's a quilt ministry. Maybe they could use some of this fabric and thread, because my friend Cynthia had a whole room. So we packed it up, and I came in, called the person who was in charge and said, I have some thread and some fabric I'd like to donate. Would you take it? And she said, oh yeah, just drop it off. Well, I came with boxes and my friend's drawer had like 17 shades of red and green. I mean, the thread was phenomenal. Well, when the lady came and she saw that, she called me on the phone. She said, when you said you had some thread and some. So anyway, she invited me to come to the quilt ministry, and I went, I don't sew. And she said, well, we need people to iron and pin. And so I thought, okay, but I was really hesitant because I was still so grieving for the loss of my friend. Mm-hmm. But when I got there, and these people were so welcoming, and I listened to them as they talked among themselves while I ironed sheets, it was very okay. I thought I could do this, and I came back. And then I got to where I learned how to cut the squares. And when I had Cynthia's fabric and was cutting her squares, I felt like I was touching her. She was touching me. And then when I saw them in quilts out there again, I looked up and I said, Cynthia, you're with me, So me personally, that was very good. And to this day, I don't come to a quilt ministry blessing without thinking of Cynthia and the gift that she led me to God's house and these beautiful people who eventually selected me to be their chair.